What's going on? It's a crazy one today. Took off my hat, got off my bike. You are in for a treat. Today, we're doing some go-to-market analysis on jobs data for companies that provide benefits to other companies. So if you're like my good friend, the two Johns at Mini Exhibitions, this will be super helpful for you. Anyone that is selling into teams that are really great with their benefits, right? And so what we want to do now is tease out what that means. And we're going to look at our own proprietary jobs information for that. All right, let's dive in. All right. In this case, we're just going to look 7 days back. We probably would want to look all back into time because we care about the benefits. So time isn't as big of a factor here because we're not thinking about things like what's changed recently at the company. We generally want to think benefits are longer term assets here. So we may actually want to go further back. Let's just do, there's 300 days. Why not? We don't care about titles, including or excluding titles. We don't care about seniorities or keywords. Actually, excluded keywords might be interesting, but first let me kind of talk about what this is. Because benefits are usually described in any job description, and usually they're more described in senior level positions where they talk about benefits more, we don't really care about the job description itself, or what type of job it is. If it's a sales job or a marketing job, it doesn't really matter. We may want to exclude certain titles like part-time, because we know that any benefits on part-time might not be as good, right? Or maybe intern. But generally, I wouldn't really consider this to be a type of exercise that we would think about excluding keyword groups. All right. So in this particular case, I was running a query for someone that sells basically snacks to companies, food and drink, etc. Well, for those folks, you really want to know what kind of companies offer snacks. So we looked at unlimited snacks or unlimited drinks. And this type of keyword versus just drinks itself is a little bit more indicative of the type of benefit that they offer. If you just pull drinks, you might not be able to have as good of a keyword match. They might sell drinks. They might talk about drinks in a different way. Lunch, like we're going to get some matches on lunch companies here. In the future, we'll probably filter against company descriptions. Dinner, breakfast, snacks. So you can kind of see if you have, maybe I should delete snacks here. I'll delete unlimited snacks. It's duplicative. So we've got this category now. These are the types of people that offer food and drink. And now, in this case, I said it was required, but in this case, I'm okay with it being false. So learning, right? Are they investing in their employees? And this is really important because if you're selling a service that does learning and development, you want to know, do they have a learning budget? To talk about reimbursement or a stipend or an education budget. If they have tuition assistance, that might be even more interesting. So you could even split the tuition assistance off and say, what are companies that are offering tuition assistance because they might be willing to pay for my coding school, for example. So we got a learning category here. CBD, I did this analysis for houseofwise.co. They offer sort of CBD treatments for anxiety and like. So I thought, okay, well, if they offer food and drink, that's good, but not all companies are going to be amenable to providing CBD products to their employees. So I wanted to say, does this company mention CBD, THC, or cannabis, which means they're probably more likely to offer Wise products to their employees. Stock. So generally companies that are offering stock or equity, those are venture-backed startups, right? So they're going to generally offer better benefits. So if I see stock or equity, that's a good indicator. Time off. So really, if they have, this is a little contentious, unlimited PTO, sometimes that means, only 1 week a year. But in this case, I really want to know who's offering great time off, right? This is generally considered a really good benefit. Health, right? They talk about wellness, health and wellness. They offer an HSA or mental health. Employee assistance program or EAP is another keyword that I found. They talk about well-being. Again, I'm going to feel really good about selling a health product into a company that is already supporting their employees with health benefits. Or what if they're doing all this but not offering health and wellness? Certainly we want to go after those folks in a different way. extra. I found, gym, cell phone, referral bonus, life insurance, relocation, right? These are kind of extra perks that you don't see often. So I just kind of bucketed this in extra. 401k, are they thinking about your long-term financial health, right? Again, those are the types of companies that are thinking about retaining folks in the long term. Gifts, they talk about swag. I don't know, people like to use the word swag. And generally when I looked into the job descriptions, they don't really use swag in a different way. It's like you get swag. Team building, this is really important, right? The folks that talk about team building are really, if they're remote first, which I actually should add here, we want to know if they're remote. So let's do that, remote. And let's do remote first. That's going to tell us something. And we can just do remote too as a keyword. Generally, I'd probably want to target remote first and remote companies differently, but team building, right? We talked about that. So if you're a remote company and you're doing team building, that means you're flying people, you're investing more money. Family, maternity, paternity, family, pregnancy. All right, so we got a lot there. So let's actually run a query inside of benefits. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up the good stuff here. Thanks for being patient with me while I did this. I kind of came home and I thought, the people want another YouTube video. All of my 300 subscribers are very interested in this. All right, let's change it. I was doing a poll for my friend Jeremy. All right, great. Now let's run this. This is going to be insane because it is lots of different keyword groups. We're not requiring any keyword groups. We probably should have done that. We probably should require a keyword group here. Let's see. What do we want to require? What's the kind of best benefit? Like you guys can talk to me. Remote first. Let's see how long this is gonna take forever because there's gonna be a lot of companies that mention this. Let's do 7 days, and let's do learning and development. Right, these are people that are really investing in their employees. All right, let's stop that. All right, let's try again. All right, so not only is it 5 o'clock somewhere, it's 5 o'clock here. So this is wine and go to market. It's a fantastic Zinfandel and a Lodi. I'm sure that you're very interested in that. All right, let's watch paint dry here. So what we're doing is querying all of the jobs in our database, 1 million plus jobs for these keyword groups. And what I didn't mention here is that if you were running an outbound campaign, what you want to do is provide sentences here. So in some cases, what we probably want to do is figure out if there's tension, right? So if we see that they're offering all of the benefits but not one benefit, then we want to talk about tension. If they're offering all the benefits, then we might want to speak a little bit differently. So if we have opposing groups, then we want to say this but not this. In this case, this is just kind of a sum of groups, but really we probably would want to talk about, hey, looks like you offer unlimited drinks. You have an L&D budget, you're offering stock and time off, but I noticed that you don't mention health and wellness. So what we can also do is take these keywords and say, all right, we actually want to exclude them. So while you're offering a lot of benefits, but we couldn't find any health and wellness benefits, how are you thinking about the long-term health and wellness of your employees, right? That's the kind of thing that's important. Wow, there are a lot of matches here. This is generally very, very fast, and we've got only the last 7 days. We did learning and development. So let's watch paint dry a little bit longer. And then what I'm going to do is, and actually I think I have a previous poll here. Give me 1 second. Thanks for being patient with me. We did output and benefits. All right, I'm opening up a file here. So one of the things that we really want to do here is we want to be able to mine some of these job descriptions for how they talk about this, because that's going to give us some better insight into these keywords. So while I've let this run here, the way that you would want to operationalize this is once you get this sort of list of companies, then you want to talk about the different keywords of benefits. And this is going to help you identify who are the really, really great companies for you and who are the only okay companies, right? If they're offering a learning and development, but they're not offering drinks, they're not offering stock or equity, we can't find mention of time off or mental illness, that's about right. Then we can kind of say, okay, well, this is not a fantastic company to go after because they're not currently investing. And as we go explore the jobs, we're going to find that there's other kind of really interesting keywords. All right. Well, this is probably good for this video here. Otherwise, I would actually dive into the context. But there's like so much data. Boy, we're having a long time with that. So if you are actively going after companies that are investing in their employees and want to deploy this type of data in some of your targeting and outreach, please do give me a contact. I'm Jordan, Jordan, at blueprintgtm.com. And thanks for sticking with me for this video where we investigate doing some go-to-market work for companies offering benefits to employees or different types of services to help their employees. Thanks so much for investing a little bit in growth and investing in yourself, in learning a little bit more about how to think about targeting with job descriptions.